girls, hi, Nisha Renee here. Today's video is going to be another informal little chit chat. Probably not doing a lot of editing on this video, but I just wanted to chop it up with y'all real quick because I miss y'all. Okay, your girl was going through a little bit of a rough patch. My mental health was under attack within this past week or so, but we got it together. We here, we back, we in action. So let's get into it. So for today's discussion, child, okay, we are going to be discussing why women don't like good guys, okay? So I wanted to talk about this today because there is a very common sentiment nowadays that, again, women do not like good guys. And if a woman does end up liking a good guy, she chooses to go after the good men once she's less desirable. So once she gets older, has kids, she now wants to go back to the men who tried to pay attention to her before. Now, before we get into my hypothesis about why women don't like good guys, I want to actually break down what I mean by a good guy, okay? How can I say this? I'm thinking of the men where if a woman was asked why she liked the guy, she would say, oh, he's really nice. He's a really good guy. Ladies, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, you have the men who you're super interested in where your girls ask you about him and you'll be like, girl, he is sexy, he's intelligent, he's successful, he's X, Y, and Z. And then you got the man who sounds good on paper, but he's just not hitting the same. Men, I'm probably releasing some of the secrets of the woman's sphere right now, okay? But if a woman ever describes you in that way, again, oh, he's so nice, he's such a good guy, 9 times out of 10, that woman is about to friend zone you. And I can't really explain why we do this as women, but there's just a certain way that you talk about someone that you're truly interested in versus someone who, again, you feel you should be interested in, but you don't really have that connection with. And I just want to say that as a woman, it's very, very frustrating because the common sentiment is that women just like bad guys. They want men to treat them like crap. They overlook all of these other men because they're not hoodboogers who are in the street and super tough and have this edge and all of that, right? Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of women out there who really do like the hoodboogers. I am not one of those women though, okay? But what I will say, and I hope that this doesn't come across as harsh, okay? The number one reason why women don't like quote unquote good guys, most of these good guys are, by most women's standards, not that attractive. Now, before y'all come for me, when I say not attractive, I'm not saying that they look like a toe, okay? They don't have to be ugly or super unattractive, but they might just be like average. You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe they're like a 5 or a 6. Typically not a man that most women would turn their head and look at if he walked into a room. Now, I know there are a lot of people who feel that attraction can grow over time. I don't feel like that. Honestly, that's a conversation for a different day. But I personally think that if the attraction is not there from jump, you trying to force that attraction is only going to go left later on in the relationship. So I'm pretty sure that most of you have heard about the term pretty privilege. For the purposes of today, we're gonna call it attractive privilege just because that's a bit more inclusive. There are a lot of psychological studies out there that show that we as humans, we generally do respond to people who are more attractive in a more positive way, okay? People who are attractive, they have a better chance of getting hired during job interviews. We see attractive people and we attribute positive personality traits like kindness, intelligence, confidence, just because they're attractive. So I say all of that to say that when a person is more attractive, they technically don't have to try as hard to open as many doors because their privilege is going to open up doors for them. This is kind of why people have a certain level of respect for individuals who are attractive and also humble, because we know that there are a lot of people out there who have shitty attitudes and really horrible personalities, and they're allowed to be that way because they are attractive. Now, on the flip side, let's think of someone who isn't as attractive. My hypothesis is that a person who is unattractive knows that they don't have the attractive privilege. Therefore, their personality has to make up for their lack of looks. Oh my God. This sounds so horrible, but it's so real. Like, we're humans and sometimes it can be horrible. I'm basically saying that women are not attracted to a lot of good guys because they're not that attractive. Maybe I'm just a little bit more of a realist, but for me, when I meet a person, I know instantly the way I'm gonna see that person. They're either gonna be friend zone or we could possibly be something more. If I'm not attracted to you when I first meet you, that attraction is never going to grow for me. And I think that what happens is that as a woman gets older and that biological clock starts ticking, you feel like you're running out of time. So you try to really push for connections to work that have no business working in the first place. This is where men who are good guys might get a little bit frustrated because you feel like women play games with you. We are not intending, in most cases, okay, I'm just gonna say most cases because I can't speak for all women, but in most cases, we're not intending to hurt your feelings, waste your time, play games with you. We really are trying because you have great qualities, but if that attraction isn't there, I think that a lot of women realize that they can't move forward. So my second reason for why women tend to not like good guys is one that I had never even considered before until I came across a video on YouTube. So I was watching Stefan Speaks per usual, okay? Y'all gonna see me reference him a lot moving forward. So he made a video discussing why women shouldn't pursue the good guy just because he's a good guy. One of the points that he made is that men who are good guys, they tend to lack the masculinity that a lot of women are looking for. And as a disclaimer, before y'all come for him, he made it very clear to say that you can be a masculine man and still be a good guy and be assertive and set boundaries and not be a pushover. He was saying that a lot of the men who women are kind of rejecting because they're too nice or too good, they are men who come across as very, very passive.
So I want to be clear that when we say nice guy, we are talking about a more passive man, a man who may exude more feminine energy, all right? Because that's the real issue. Not to mention, we have to understand that many men who struggle with exuding more masculine energy and may be overly nice or viewed as such, part of the reason is because society has told them, well, when you find that woman you want to be with, treat her like a queen and love her and all this sweet stuff. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that a man should not be embracing those things, but it's that information is given to men in a way that doesn't help them understand. You still have to maintain your masculine frame. All right? You still have to be able to love in your masculine, as the way that I like to put it.
Please let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Okay, so little mini story time. I talked to a guy once who, on paper, checked a lot of my boxes. He was very career driven, very successful. He was financially stable. He was very thoughtful. He was considerate. Just hitting a lot of those key things that I wanted. And for those reasons, I decided to pursue this man, even though he was not the typical type of guy that I would usually go for. Okay, I was stepping outside of my norm, okay, stepping outside of focusing on superficial qualities, and I decided to pursue it anyway. And it started off okay at first until I started to realize that he had some feminine tendencies. Not tendencies where I questioned his sexuality or anything like that, but he was just very, very passive. And it's not saying that I want someone who is very aggressive. I don't want an aggressive man, someone who I feel is gonna threaten me or I'm scared of or anything like that. But I do like for men to be assertive so that I, as a woman, can feel protected. He was kind of like one of those people where, let's say we were out, he and I, and a guy tried to come up and talk to me, you know, try to flirt with me in front of his face. He gave off the vibe that he would be a person who wouldn't correct that situation in that moment. Very non-confrontational. I felt like I was probably more confrontational than him, and I'm not a confrontational person at all. I mean, hold on, well, let me just say, when business needs to be handled, business gets handled. But generally speaking, I try to keep the peace with everyone, you know? But he just seemed like a person who, he just didn't have a backbone. I feel so bad saying that, but he didn't have a backbone. And I told him, I'm like, look, I need someone who is more masculine. I don't want to be the dominant role in a relationship. And that was just his demeanor. It was something that he couldn't change. So yeah, good guys can be really passive, or like Stefan Speaks mentioned, they might be very, very clingy, right? They start to show a lot of feminine qualities as a way to try to get the woman's attention. Maybe thinking if they're super affectionate, just showing that they care, want to check up on you all the time. They think that would be a way to get your attention and win your heart. But oftentimes it comes across as clingy and a turnoff, because women really do want that masculine energy, the same way that men want feminine energy. If you start to see that a woman is too masculine, it turns you off. Women might not be rejecting you or off put by you because you're a nice guy. It could just be that you're not as masculine as what the woman would like for you to be. So those are my thoughts. I know that it might not seem like a big deal, but you can really gauge how a person feels about you by the way that they describe you and what they like about you. So again, men out there, if a woman says that she likes you because you're a good guy or you're a nice guy, just be cautious, okay? Because a lot of women who truly like men, for real, and they feel like you're a top pick, they're not gonna describe you like that. But y'all can challenge me in the comments, okay? So if y'all feel differently, let me know. If you agree, let me know. And women, I would love to hear your perspective on this. What has your experience been with good guys? Do you gravitate toward those men? Do you feel like those men are less attractive? And if you do feel like they're less attractive, why are they less attractive? And men, what are your thoughts on this? I know that you guys are probably gonna have mixed feelings on everything that I'm saying. It might not make a lot of sense, but honestly, women feel ways that don't make sense to men. Men feel ways that don't make sense to women. All we can do is talk about it and try to come to a common understanding. So anyway, those are my thoughts. If there's anything that I missed in this video that you felt should be mentioned, let me know that in the comments as well. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and until next time, y'all, bye.